For those of us who are grieving and trying to make sense of the loss of a loved one's or a loved one's choice, could you please speak to suicide? And in particular, is it ever part of a pre-birth planning or contract?
Yes, it can be part of the pre-birth contract, and we recognize that it is deeply frowned upon in many religious contexts, and we do not advocate it, of course. However, it is that in the attunement to this vibration, there are moments in which an escape from the unfolding of the incarnation that becomes the suffering weighs too heavily in this situation in the mental mind, that it allows itself to move into a rebirth, into a spaciousness in the dissolving of those energies that otherwise could not come into harmonization, with also an opening for a great willingness for forgiveness for those who are left in the aftermath of the sorrow and the suffering and the pain of these decisions. In this particular case, we are wanting you to know that there is a feeling, a vibration of what might be perceived as a regret that had to be processed by the one who has committed suicide and has left such pain and grief and wondering why for those behind. And for you, this feeling of you do something wrong, or could you have known, or could something have been prevented? And the haunting of this energy is being deeply asked to move back into forgiveness for yourself, because this is not something in which was done wrong, but was part of the soul contract and agreement between all of you, and many opportunities for union and healing and love through this great tragedy can take place. And we're wanting you to know that the energy of this soul has already aligned with something beautiful and is in great counsel at this time, cocooned in a healing space. Regeneration and rejuvenation of healing is taking place, and dismantling of these energies that were overwhelming and overtook the mind are being reintegrated, because the essence and the purity of this spirit and its deep sensitivity and beauty and light was so light and so magnificent that it had a difficult time moving through the density of this realm. And there are times in which those who take their life, who've chosen through their contract to descend into this planet, felt before descending into this density that they had the capacity and the wherewithal to move through the unfoldment of their incarnation, and yet recognized as they came up against this density that there was this longing to return to their star family and to return home. And the sensitivity of this soul and its energy and frequency needed to return, and we will reunite again in the most profound and loving way. And the most important thing at this time is to release any sense of guilt or concern, or that something other than what was could have been, and recognize the divine perfection in what has unfolded, although we understand extremely difficult to see. But the lesson and the kernel, the pearl, the light within this is the opportunity to find the gift.